This is Tyrese Haliburton, and you're listening to Setting the Pace.
What is up, Pacer Nation? Welcome back to another episode here of your go-to Pacers podcast, Setting the Pace. I was not supposed to be here tonight, but things changed. I was able to make the podcast, watch the game live. So I am here with Facci, of course, as always. But Facci, whenever you need the Pacers to get a win, you got to ask our good friend Cammy to come on and do a post-game podcast. Facci,
Yes, sir.
I mean, I thought the Pacers were going to lose this game for a hot minute, but I had no faith. The Cammy streak is a real thing.
We had to smash the emergency glass. We had to bring him back on. He's got a streak that is quite the opposite of mine when I attend games. Cammy, we're keeping it alive. 6-0. Indiana comes back. They erase a 19-point second-half deficit. How you feeling tonight?
Hey, let me take these off. We're inside. Let me tell you what happened the last time I was on. We came back from 22. What happened tonight? Came back from 19. Hey, listen. Hey, maybe if we go down by 10 or 15 in the next game, maybe you guys should call an audible and have me on the next one.
Maybe.
It's like the basketball gods are they're on my side. Maybe one day as a child, I would say like, when I turn 21. I want to have this stupid streak that whenever I'm on a podcast, my team wins. And God's like, you know what? Why not? Go ahead. Knock yourself out, kid.
It feels like almost if it was from like Aladdin or something and you have a wish, it's like, are you sure that's what you want to use one of your wishes on? But it's like, hey, you know what? As Pacer fans, we appreciate you asking for that. So here we are today going on the All-Star break. It feels good.
Go.
I will say this. I do want to, at some point, put it to a test. Facci at a game live with Cammy coming on after the game.
You know what's gonna happen? Game's called off at halftime. Called off at halftime.
Maybe. I mean, look, I hope it's not like the COVID special where they really were like, all right, we're about to tip off. Actually, we're just going to cancel this game. But, something's got to give at some point. And you know what? We'll have to find out one day. We'll roll the dice.
You know what? Well, you know what? You know what we can do to fix this, Facci? You know what we can do? I come to the game with y'all. I'm going to come to a game with y'all in the future. For sure.
Maybe. For sure. Alex and I were talking about it recently. I went to a game with him. We still lost. But at the same point, maybe you're the missing link, and see what we can do from there.
Hey,
the missing link. I like that.
It's the Holy Pacers Trinity here. Alex Golden, Mike Facci, and Cammy. All right. Anyway, let's get into this game here because, my goodness, this was one of those games where you were just going on a roller coaster ride. You had no idea what to expect, but thank goodness for Obi Toppin and Benn Mathurin and the way they played in that second half. But I think a lot of the credit has to go to Benn Mathurin because he had 26 of his 28 points in the second half. Cammy, I saw you tweeting a lot about Benn Mathurin tonight. Post-game, pre-game, trying to figure out why he's not starting. Just a lot with Mathurin, a lot of storyline here. What were your thoughts on the way that he played in that second half?
Oh, my God. I'm telling you, this felt like I was out there. It felt like I was out there wearing the 00 on my back with the mini fro, telling my coach, looking at my coach after every bucket, going like, yeah, that's right. What are we up to now? 14? Oh, yeah, what's the lead? The lead's down to 8 now? Okay, give me a second. Oh, what? I'm up to 20? The lead's down to 4? Oh, okay. All right. I just want to check. I'm saying, man, I know you guys feel some type of way about the lineup decisions, and I get it. I get it in the Knicks game because obviously Nesmith was the best defender on not Nembhard, but on Brunson during the playoffs. But in a game like this, I truly didn't understand because I'd understand it maybe if Middleton was playing, but Middleton was not playing. So it felt like you needed that extra offensive spark, especially since Mathurin's an energy guy and your starters are going to be a bit dazed after playing a game yesterday. You know what I mean? And a game against the Knicks where we know they went harder. So I was thinking, start the guy because I think if we lost this game, we would have been 2-6 with Mathurin coming off the bench or with Nesmith starting. We would have been 2-6 with Nesmith starting. But now we're, I believe, 3 and 5?
Yeah.
3 and 5? Yeah, we're 3 and 5 now. And I will say that that man Mathurin, what did I say in the last episode, Alex? A bad mother, shut your mouth. That's what he is. That's really what he is. In the first half, what he put up, 2 points?
2 points. 1 of 4 shooting.
1 of 4 shooting. And Nesmith, I believe, had 8 points on 3 of 4 shooting, and I was going, okay, well, Nesmith is shooting well. Mathurin isn't shooting well. You know, he only played like 8 minutes too. I thought it was a bit weird. Second half hit, my God, Bennett. I can't even say it. I can't even say it. It felt like he was on autopilot and just hitting those shots, you know? Cross, tween, bucket in your face. Getting to the rim. When he got to the rim with that and one layup right after Tyrese, I think, flubbed his, that's when I was like, okay, we got this. Give it. What did Kendrick say? Put 00 on the phone. It'll all be okay. Whatever he said on Untitled Unmastered.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Mathurin tonight, you got to give him his flowers, just like we did. He was a man on a mission. Second half, I just feel like he just refused to let the Pacers fumble this game away, and he carried it through from the third quarter, fourth quarter, overtime. It just felt like he absolutely, hands down, deserved to finish this game, and we did not see much of Nesmith in the fourth quarter, and not at all in overtime. And I think that was rightfully so. Now, for those of you that everyone's still going back and forth on the lineup decision, look, through 2 games, I mean, no one can say, all right, I can see, why for Aaron Nesmith he's better in the starting lineup. I don't think that he's played well, but I think in this game, Mathurin puts up 19 shots. He gets the looks that he wanted. He was huge. I think the Pacers do not win this game without Bennedict Mathurin rising to the occasion.
Yeah, let me just throw this out at you guys both because I want to get your thoughts because it's been a big talking point. And I tweeted, I said, look, it really doesn't matter. Like, I think it's a little bit overblown who's starting. I think what matters the most is who's closing games. And there for a while when Mathurin was starting, Nesmith was still closing those games. Go back to the Jazz game, go back to that Clippers game. Little things like that. It was just Nesmith was the guy that was out there. And I'm like, okay, like the Pistons game. Actually, he didn't play in that one. I think it might have been the Hawks game he was out there. But regardless, like, it was just kind of weird because it was like, yeah, Mathurin's still getting the start, but the whole point of like Carlisle doing this in his words were he felt like he wanted to get more opportunities for Mathurin to have the ball, more set plays for him to kind of be the scorer versus kind of being that, third option behind Tyrese and Pascal and things like that. So I understand the logic behind it, and I understand why fans are frustrated with it because I said on this podcast, like, I don't think they should make a change to the starting 5 right now. Just kind of weather the storm, and if you feel like things aren't going well going into the playoffs or things like that, then make that move. But to me, Nesmith has not been good enough offensively like he was last year shooting the ball wise to really feel like you can trust him out there as that guy that's with the starters. I mean, he was shooting abysmal coming into this game, like 2 of 15 or something like that. So, Cammy, I mean, I know that they made this decision because they want Mathurin to get more looks with that second unit, but do you think you can justify that decision at all?
Okay, so I said this in a group chat and I was gonna tweet it, but I forgot. But what I said was I'm okay with Mathurin not starting as long as it's not Nesmith in his place because that man has not been shooting well. He's been shooting grenades. Quite frankly, the last few days he's been shooting grenades. I think he was like when he made that 1-3, the Quinn said he was like 1 for something, one for like 9
or something like
Yeah,
that.
1 for
1 for 12,
15.
but it's actually been 2 for 15 the last 5 games.
Yeah, just bad shooting. Again, throwing up grenades. So I feel like if you want that type of defense and that type of hustle, because I do agree, Aaron brings that hustle. And what we saw last year, that man will go for a loose ball. That man will knee and elbow you in the face like he did with Jordan Poole. He will do whatever it takes to get that ball and to get that stop. But at this point, is his defense really worth the offensive black hole that he's been in? I mean, tonight, what was he tonight? Tonight he wasn't awful. I mean, he was 3 for 6 from the field, and he was two of three from deep. Not awful. I need to see more of that though. I need to see more of that, and I need to see more of the what I like to call it a roller ball type of play from Nesmith, because what I've said, Nesmith plays like he's on roller skates. That man plays like he's on roller skates, but in a good way. Whenever he gets to that rim, slipping and sliding everywhere, that man has like RVD level body control. He could hit the splits and still get the layup. You know what I mean? Still get that and one. I need more of that. And it's like when you have those lineups out there with, I know we've mentioned this before, and I said this in the last podcast. It was TJ, the lineups of TJ, Shepard, Nesmith, Obi, and Thomas Bryant, where you don't have one guy on the floor who can create a shot. You know what I mean? Those lineups are just abysmal. And I do agree that having Mathurin off the bench as a guy who can kind of mitigate that and go, oh, well, you guys need a You guys need a bucket? That's my Mathurin impersonation. You guys need a bucket? I can give you the bucket. Or, he's one of those, go get yourself one. Give me the ball and hit him with it, nephew. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys. But again, I'm okay with him coming off the bench. I just need to see more from Aaron. You know what I mean? And at some point, if those shots don't fall and you still want to run Benn off the bench, which I reluctantly understand, maybe I'd go for, say, Ben Shepherd in the starting lineup if Neesmith's shot just isn't going through, because that man's a hustler, that man's a defender, and maybe his shot could fall too, because again, king of the timely three.
King of the timely three is right. Also for Neesmith, since he was not playing during the Pacers' huge run where they were able to make a comeback, he finished the game as a -14, which was the worst on the team. Mm-hmm. And I think a big part of that is, look, if you're not out there in the fourth quarter when Indiana's chopping down this lead left and right, it's not going to look great for you. But I think for Ben Shepherd, he had some good hustle plays. You could look at this and see 4 points, whatever. That's not going to show much. Plus 13 in this game. That's the second best behind only Benedict Mathurin. You saw that hustle. He had a great steal that led to him driving down, gets fouled, hits the free throws. Like, that was a huge, it was a momentum shift. So I hear what you're saying, with that you prefer maybe a Ben Shepherd in the starting lineup. Our friend of the show, Rooster, said the same thing with Ben Shepherd. I think Shepherd's just been consistently playing hard that everybody can respect it. And I think that he's just been what you can count on, I would say, on a nightly basis.
A lot of great stuff from Mathurin tonight, and I don't really know why the Pacers struggled to get him the ball so much there towards the end too. Like, he had an and-one that cut the game. I forget what the lead was at that point, but I think he cut it to 1, maybe.
Yeah, he was cutting it to 1. Tying it up off.
That's when I thought it was over, and then he hit that. Yeah.
So he hits that and-one to kind of keep them alive, and then Haliburton hits that 3 to put them ahead. Or Nembhard. No, they cut it to 2. Nembhard hit the layup to tie the game up at 1:15. Then Haliburton hit the 3, but it was 10 straight field goal attempts the Pacers went before Mathurin got the ball again in overtime. And so I was kind of surprised they weren't trying to go through him a little bit more. I understand that, this is Haliburton, the franchise guy, and, they went through Siakam at least one time, but Haliburton probably took 4 shots in that stretch right there. Nembhard took 1 too. To me, when the game is where it's at and the guy that got you there has been so good, why go away from it? And I felt like that was what I was mostly disappointed with, was just how much they were not going back to him, because I felt like he couldn't miss at that point. Like, he was just shooting the ball into the ocean. And, when the guys got it going like that, they were putting him on the court, but you got to get him some looks. So, Facci, I'll go back to you first this time. Did you notice that Mathurin kind of felt like after he had some big buckets, he just wasn't getting the ball enough?
Yeah, to an extent. He definitely, I don't know how much he scored in overtime, but I think he had at least 4, maybe it might have been. But I just feel like what he did down the stretch was it was incredible. I think maybe in the overtime, I don't know, maybe he could have been a little bit tired. Maybe it was, they're trying to get Haliburton a little bit more involved. It could have been anything of that sort. But, nonetheless, I feel like he was just huge in this game. So I'm looking at it right now. He scored a basket with 2:37 to go in overtime. That was great. It was an 8-footer. He made actually the next basket at 1:51. So, he had a couple baskets in overtime. I thought that was big. So I guess I didn't look into it too much, but he was everything what the Pacers needed and more.
Cammy, what'd you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, at the end, I was a bit concerned over them not getting Ben the ball. But at that point, I think that's when Mr. Consistency himself, Pascal Siakam, woke up. He hit that little turnaround, I believe, and then he hit those free throws at the end. So I feel like with Ben, it's like, all right, you score those 4 points. I feel like the rest of the team said, all right, young man, you got us this far. We'll take the reins from here. You know what I mean? Felt like I was watching Uncle Drew out there. You know what I mean? Where everybody's like, Ben was like, young bloods, I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. And everybody's like, oh, sit down. We got this. You got us this far. Your pacemaker's going. We got this.
Yeah, it's a great analogy there, something that we usually would not bring to this podcast. So thank you for bringing that to us. Yeah. I will say this, though, Obi Toppin, a guy that I thought was absolutely abysmal in the Knicks game, has a complete 180 and turns it around. I mean, even early in the first quarter, Quinn Buckner said, who's ready for the All-Star break? Obi Toppin. And then all of a sudden, Obi Toppin comes out, responds, has a career high, 6 made 3-pointers, 31 points on 11 of 19 shooting, 10 rebounds. Like, he really hit some timely buckets, and I know that he probably wasn't as big in the closing moments of that fourth quarter, but he did have a big three, I believe, at one point. So it just Obi Toppin to me, like, you can say what you want about him, and I think that it's fair to be critical, but like everything changes from a game to game basis. So if I was critical against the Knicks, of his play against the Knicks, okay, fine, but like it's a new game, it's a clean slate. So this game against Washington, I thought he actually looked much, much better, and clearly showed it by just putting up some hellacious numbers, 31 points in 33 minutes. Facci, I thought that Obi Toppin was fantastic tonight.
Look, Valentine's Day is coming up. Don't tell my wife I haven't bought flowers, but I might be buying flowers for Obi Toppin because he deserves them tonight. This man had 17 points in the third quarter. He had 20, it was 20 points in the second half. He calmed down a little bit, after that amazing third quarter. But like we talked about, we don't win this game without Mathurin, what he did in like the fourth quarter and overtime. We also don't win this game if Obi Toppin doesn't go bananas in that third quarter, just hitting three after three after three. I said it to you off air. There is a chance, I'd have to look back at least offensively. This might have been the very best game that Obi Toppin has played as an Indiana Pacer. The defense, you could always knock it. There's a ton of guys on this team you can knock. He's never going to be a great defender. At times, we've seen it come, we've seen it go. Offensively, what we saw in that third quarter was a guy that was a lights-out shooter, and lately we've talked about his struggles. You already mentioned it. He was the guy that you hammered last episode, and sometimes other people listening to the show could think it's unfairly. Look, we have to criticize the team. This is we're here for the team. What's best for the not the name on the back, the name on the front. And tonight, Obi Toppin deserves every single compliment he could possibly get because he was incredible. 31 points off the bench. Wow.
Cammy, you have any thoughts to add to Obi Toppin's game?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like Obi in the third quarter specifically, I feel like he was looking to make up for that one play he had, which it was a very few moments that I have face-palmed as a basketball fan watching a game, but it was this one. Jordan Poole had the ball at the end of the second quarter, lost it. Ben got the steal, gave it to Obi. Half a second left. For some reason, he decides to go for the dunk. Time expires when he has the ball in the air. That was what did I say to you, Alex, after the Thanksgiving special? Amazingly gifted, but dumber than a bag of rocks. And I hope he doesn't take this personal. That is like, come on.
How could you not? Dumber than a bag of rocks, but don't take it personal. But no, I hear you. To me, that was like it symbolized the frustration of the first half of like, you're going to try and dunk it. You got the ball with like a second and a half left. You got to lay that in. Yeah. Don't try and dunk it. So after he dunked it, I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do?
I was like, this is over. This is over. I'm going to go watch Dynamite. I'm going to relax. I'm going to have a me day. You know what I mean? But then third quarter hits. What do I see? 17 points, 6 of 10 from the field, 3 of 5 from deep. They hit him in that corner. He was making it look easy. He was. I felt like I was watching. I don't know. I felt like I was watching old head moment here. I felt like I was watching Peja in his half year with the team. I felt like I was watching. I felt like I was watching Mike Dunleavy. I felt like I was watching Danny Granger. Okay. Man, I felt like I was watching Shrimp. I felt like I was watching Shrimp shoot that thing.
Yeah,
I mean, I felt like I was watching Don Buse shoot that thing back to the ABA days. You know what I mean? I'm not that old, but
Don Buse? Yeah. Can't even say his name right. Come on now.
My knowledge is off 2K mods. All right, give me a break. But we don't get to that point without Obi. And also in the fourth quarter, he didn't score. And in overtime, he had one bucket. I think he hit a three.
Yep.
Corner three. That corner three, man. Corner three was something special. Mm-hmm. That corner three, I'd like to say, probably saved our behinds in this game, because if I'm looking at the stats right here, 3 of 5 from the left corner, 3 of 8 from the right corner, and if I'm looking at it in the second half, 2 of 3 and 1 of 4. Those 3 in the corners, those saved us. I truly believe so. And Obi hit so many of those. My God.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because Obi Toppin post game, talking to the media, was basically just said, Coach came in at the end of the first half and showed us some, film from the first half and said, you got to quit BSing around. Well, honestly, the starters really didn't get the message because this team still gave up 37 points, I believe it was, in the third quarter. So how many points did you say Facci Obi Toppin had in the third?
17.
Okay, he had 17 of the Pacers, 37 points. Like the fact that you needed Obi Toppin to score 17 points in the third quarter just to stay at minus 13 or you know, down
In
13
it.
with
In
Washington,
it.
like
In
that's
it.
bad. That's bad. So you had to stay even with Washington just for him to go off for 17 points. Like usually if Obi puts up 17 points in a quarter, you think you're going to win that quarter. So, it was really just an abysmal defensive effort from everybody early on. I think that fourth quarter, it's just like they flipped the switch. And I think, when you look at a Washington Wizards team, like they're so young. I think Chris brought it up right when he introduced the starting five. Like Jordan Poole at 25 years old is their oldest starter. They had two 19-year-olds, a 20-year-old, and a 21-year-old out there playing. So it's like when you got that much inexperience out there, like you cannot get yourselves down, and try to crawl your way out of it. Like too often, these past 6 games here in the month of February, it has been awful. Pacers have constantly just found themselves crawling out of these big holes where if you look at January, they were constantly leading in these games. So Facci, I'm really hoping the Pacers can turn things around once they come back from the All-Star break. But tonight, I got to give the bench a ton of credit for that second half.
The starters were awful. They really were. And like I even feel like for Siakam, who's been as consistent as they come. Siakam shot 5 of 16, in this game. Look, he was still big down the stretch, but going to your point back before, this is a Washington team that started 3 rookies. 3 rookies. Like they had 9 wins coming into this game. Their last home win was January 1st. All right, it's been a long time. And then here comes the Indiana Pacers, ready to just, let Corey Kispert go off for what looked like it was going to be, 30, 40 points, something like crazy. The perimeter defense tonight was so bad in the first half. It was so bad. Washington averages 13 made 3-pointers in this game. They had it by halftime. At one point, I think the Wizards shot 23 of 45 from 3. At one point, it was even worse than that. They were shooting like 60% from 3, and it was embarrassing. It really was. And if anybody logged on to Twitter, social media, whatever, it felt like the sky was falling. Everybody started saying things like, this Indiana team should have upgraded at the deadline. They should have made some moves. What's going on? They made a big, they're the frauds. There's this. Everyone, the whole fan base was ready to crumble. I don't care if we won this game by 1 or whatever it took. This comeback to go into the All-Star break helped put everybody at ease to just be like, things are going to be all right. This team needed a break. They were mentally drained, but they dug deep enough into the tank to pull one last W out before you can finally take a rest.
Yeah, and Cammy, I want to get your thoughts because, look, the Pacers have 30 wins going into the All-Star break. They have 29 games left. I believe 17 of those are at home, 12 are on the road. They're on pace to win 47 games this season. So they're still right there in the mix. They could literally, find themselves as a 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, which would give them a home court advantage. And it's just like, I understand that, like, you get frustrated when the team's not playing well and it feels like all, like the sky is falling, like Facci said. Like, everything's just, like, falling out of place and people are freaking out, but it's just like, just relax. I mean, 82 games is a lot of games, and you're not going to be awesome like you were for that 15 game stretch that you had. Like, you're not going to be perfect like that every time. So, but just your thoughts on the Pacers getting to 30 wins, Cammy, and just, honestly, there's been a lot of stuff going on this season, but the fact that they're at 30 wins at this point, how are you feeling about the team?
Feeling good because through the first 25 games, when we went 10 of 15, everybody in my group chat, I was in like three group chats, I was tweeting about it. Everybody was doom and gloom. Everybody said this team's a fraud. We're not gonna make it anywhere. Why do we pay this guy $260 million? Why are we paying Myles? We just let him go. This is why no team wants him. I was like, chill, chill for a second. The season starts, people go through their rough stretches. I love the stuff Tyrese was doing in the summer. I felt like, maybe he should have rested up a little bit, worked out a little bit more. But now, he's getting back. He had 20. What, 20 tonight? He had 20? Mm-hmm. And he hit that one that got us to overtime as well. Yep. Like, I'm saying, just give it a little rest, and everybody, this is specifically towards number 33. Everybody was clowning number 33. And we know who number 33 is. Everybody was clowning him, saying he's not a good defender anymore. We should trade him. We need to get... I saw some people bring up Nick Claxton as a guy we could get to replace him, where my whole thing was like, his 3-point shooting makes this offense work. You're going to, like, change that for a guy who probably doesn't know a 3-point shot from a 3-point stance? I mean, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. You know what I mean? And now look at where we are. We don't have Myles. We get blown out. You know, we don't have Myles. We're in dogfights against bottom dwellers. You know what I mean? This is specifically to the people who wanted 33 gone. There's a reason why he's still here. No, the Lakers aren't gonna get him. No, your favorite team isn't gonna get him. He's still here for a reason. What do you want us to do? Start Thomas Bryant and have Jala Okafor off the bench? Come on, man. We're not your farm team.
Yeah, I mean,
come on, brother.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. The stuff that Myles Turner was like, all those rumors were just kind of silly to me. I understand that he is an expiring contract; they cannot give him an extension. But like, just the amount of like trades that we saw out there that were thrown around, like they were just absolutely clueless. So,
Rui Hachimura. Ooh, Rui Hachimura. Ooh, Jared Vanderbilt. Oh my God, Gabe Vincent. Lord have mercy. Come on, man, give it a rest.
Awful.
Yeah, I mean seriously. But let's just talk about Thomas Bryant for a second tonight because, yeah, he was 4-7 from the field, had 9 points. But like, what stood out to me the most with Thomas Bryant? 11 rebounds, 5 assists. Facci. I loved the energy from Thomas, especially in that second half. I mean, that stretch when the Pacers were coming back, cutting this lead down to start the fourth quarter, it was him and Siakam in the front court. I think Toppin was on the bench at this point, but it was Mathurin with that group, and I think Shepherd might have been out there with McConnell. So it was just like this really like different starting, or this group of 5 we haven't seen a whole lot of. But I really love the way that Thomas was just so impactful on the glass. And like, even if he missed a shot, get his own rebound, had a great assist to Ben Shepherd. Like, he was just doing a lot of really good things. And I felt like, you know what? This is why he's been so like impactful for this team and so good, is because it's not about the scoring. It's about all the other stuff that he's been bringing to the table. So what were your thoughts on Thomas tonight?
Thomas Bryant, man. I mean, he's bringing it each and every night. Look, it's a tall task to be asking him to play about 30 minutes and just kind of shoulder the load for us in terms of as it relates to, hold down the center spot. As a rebounder over the last 4 games, he's averaging 9.5 rebounds. He had 11 boards tonight, nine rebounds against New York. But one thing I want to really touch on that really, you talked about one pass. Sure, it's great. The last 4 games, actually, yep, it's the last 4. He's had 4 assists or more in the last 4 games. You got a big man who's got a nice touch on it that's very underrated. People aren't talking about. Pacers had 38 assists tonight, and you're getting 5 of them out of your center. Like that's really really good. So I liked what I saw out of Thomas Bryant. I think he held it down, and we've wondered at times, like we thought maybe ideally when Thomas Bryant came here, hey, could you get 15 minutes out of him? I mean, if you go to January, he averaged 16 minutes per game. This month he's at about 23 minutes per game. It's a solid increase, and no excuses. The guy has done what we needed him to do, and I think he got us through a really tough stretch right now. And where would we be without Thomas Bryant right now? Would it be seriously Jahlil Okafor and Enrique Freeman out there? Like, I mean, we've already been getting crushed on the boards. Like this is. I'm very happy we have Thomas Bryant.
Cammy, can you just go ahead and do that one more time for us? But we got to hear you talk because it's got to come over to your screen. So go ahead and talk and then give us that sign.
Yeah, wait, what was it? What was it? What was the thing that I did? This right here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Jahlil Okafor and Enrique Freeman. But
yeah, I mean, a lot of people are excited about Jahlil Okafor and the opportunity he's getting, but like clearly, Rick Carlisle just doesn't trust him right now with this group and what they're doing. And it's fine. He's on a 10-day contract. I'd be surprised if he's with his team long term. But regardless, an awesome opportunity for him. But yeah, I mean, Thomas Bryant's been so good with that unit. Whether he's starting or coming off the bench, he's just been so impactful. But there's other guys that have really stepped up with this team throughout the season. And Ben Shepherd is one of those guys. We've already kind of touched on Ben Shepherd quite a bit tonight, so don't want to keep going there. But the one thing I do want to bring up, though, that with that lineup that I just talked about that I liked is because there for a little while, Cammy, it was like you had McConnell running out there with Nesmith and Shepherd and Toppin and Bryan, and it felt like there weren't enough on-ball creators. And I think this is where inserting Mathurin with that group matters. And so you don't necessarily have to bring him off the bench to put him with that group. You could just have him come out early in the first quarter and come back in with that group when they go to the full bench lineup or whatever. But I just feel like McConnell was asked to do so much, and I think it was a little bit taxing for him that the Pacers really didn't have any other creators. But you put Mathurin out there with McConnell, who has great chemistry from the past, few seasons. It does feel like those two can really play off each other well. And that's why you see a guy like TJ McConnell have 9 assists tonight. I guarantee most of those assists came from passes to Mathurin and or Toppin.
Oh, yeah. And we mentioned this before, the death lineup, I'd like to say, for all the wrong reasons. You know, the death of me, not the death of the other team, unfortunately. But yeah, I 100% agree that Ben, I mean, since coming into the league, Ben has had the most chemistry with TJ. That's how I felt. I mean, everybody's tried to make this Tyrese and Ben thing work. And, even when he was on PG's podcast, Tyrese said that, I always go to Ben and I'm like, we're the ones that got to lead this team in the future. Because let's be honest, in 2-3 years, I'll give it 5, in 5 years, TJ McConnell will be retired. TJ McConnell's going to be going home to his farm with his wife and, whatever. He'll probably maybe be like an assistant, pop his head every now and then, maybe be like a franchise, like a Lance type guy, But TJ McConnell will be gone and it's going to be Tyrese and Ben. But for the time being, TJ McConnell is here, at least for the rest of the year. And I really like that synergy they have. And I do agree with you saying that he doesn't necessarily have to start for them to play together. You could aggregate his minutes. You could play him like 5 at the beginning and then play him like a whole quarter when TJ's in or something like that. But I really like that those two have that chemistry. And I feel like TJ, 2 Arizona boys, 2 boys from Tucson. Well, one's from Montreal, but 2 boys from Tucson. They've definitely bonded over college stories and whatever. I don't know. You guys have definitely seen during the post game interviews when TJ's like, "Hey, good game," and then Ben's like, "Yeah, now get away from me." You know what I mean? I love that connection they have, and like you said, you could aggregate his minutes because what I want to see is some of the present that works with Tyrese and some of the present that with Ben and TJ, and I also want to see that future because, like I said, TJ won't be here in a few years. It's gonna be Tyrese and Ben as far as we know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Facci. I mean, the thing that I've noticed too is like the whole talking point was like, can Tyrese and Mathurin fit together, right? And I think this season they've really figured things out, in my opinion. Like it hasn't been like this clunky fit. I think defensively at times you wish it could be better, but like if that's the biggest complaint you have, like obviously we could get deeper into that. But for tonight's game, I mean, I'm not going to bring that up. I'm just saying in terms of long-term stuff, like the thing has always been like, how do those two fit together? And I feel like they've been much better this year compared to the previous 2 years. And so it's only year 3 for those two guys playing together too. And in some of that time, you have to realize like, Haliburton got hurt both years. So it's like you really didn't get that full sample size of a full season with those guys. So I don't think that the writing's on the wall or anything like that. I don't think you can just definitively say like these two will never fit together. I think there's still time for that to, play itself out. But I do feel like this fan base and just fan bases in general of the NBA, like you want instant reaction, you want instant comments, like that's just what you want, instant gratification. Like, what have you felt like this duo could be moving forward, Foch?
Special. I mean, here's the thing. You talked about last year with injuries. You got to remember this. Haliburton has the hamstring injury in January, misses a bunch of time. Mathurin goes down in March. He misses the rest of the season. So that's like half the season that they really didn't get to gel together with. I think this year, obviously, it's been way better. I mean, they had their moments. So you think about the Knicks game earlier where Mathurin scores 38 and Haliburton has like 35, and they looked incredible together. I think there's other times where it's been Haliburton who's had his struggles, and Mathurin at times, of course, has been a little bit up and down. The first 20 games, I feel like he was incredible. That comes down a bit. We saw tonight that the skill set that Mathurin brings to the table, the Pacers just don't have anything else like that. Like this is a guy that at times could just say, hop on my back, I'm going to give you 30. And it's just, and he can create his own shot with it. I feel like everyone else they need to kind of play off of someone. So they have to figure it out. I think they will figure it out. I think that right now the Pacers are sitting in 4th, so we can't say that things aren't going well. So things are trending in the right direction. Those two have to be kind of the keys to unlock the long-term potential for the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah. Other than that, any other players you want to bring up that we haven't touched on? I know we didn't touch on Ty very much, but I thought he had some big buckets in the fourth quarter, like pretty much a no-show until the fourth is kind of how it felt like for Ty, right?
That's how I would say it. Like 7 points early on, you thought it could be a kind of a big game, and then it was pretty slow. But he saves his best for last. There was a stat that went out, Alex. I know I tweeted and someone tagged you in it that it was Tyrese Haliburton has like the second most or the second best clutch field goal percentage in the NBA this year on threes. Crazy. So it is crazy. The guy's been clutch. And that's why I'm willing to take up the first 3 quarters, crumple it up, and kind of throw it out the window. Because if you're going to hit the big shot when you need it most, man, I really don't care what happened early on in the game. Or you're there when we need you. And tonight, he was there when we needed him.
Cammy, your thoughts?
It's always who? It's not always Sami Zayn. Let me put that shirt away. It's always Haliburton.
He is.
It's always Haliburton. And I've been a bit adamant on this in group chats and tweeting. I love that he can bring that dog out of him in the fourth quarter and in overtime when the team needs it. But don't make my heart drop for the first half, man.
Always.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me, man. Shoot, man. I already got a history of heart attacks in the family. Don't give me one. I'm only 21. You know what I mean? Like, come on. I need to see in this offseason. I need him to work on that. I need him to work on that. Those get those 2 feet in the paint and hit those layups. And that fake that he has, because his jumper looks a lot like a pump fake anyway. That pump fake that he has, it's one of my favorite signature moves from anybody in the league, and it always works. He has one of the most lethal pump fakes I've ever seen. It's McHale-esque. You know what I mean? That man could that man could shoot like put it down. Guy goes flying, puts it up, and that midi's usually cash. I need him to utilize that midi more after the break because he's bringing back the lost art of the mid-range, and it's him and a few guys, like I think it's DeRozan and a few other guys who you give them that 18-footer, especially in the not in the corner, but in the elbow. That elbow, that 18-footer, a few steps ahead of the three-point line. He puts that in. You might as well just turn around and get back on defense. That's cash every time. That's cash every time.
That might be the first time I've ever heard Tyrese Haliburton compared to Kevin McHale.
Okay. Oh, you want me to keep going? You want me to keep going?
I'm here for it. What do you get? What else you got?
Okay. I'm kind of mad that you didn't call me in for the Thomas Bryant thing because I was gonna say Thomas Bryant really reminds me of those old, like I saw a tweet about this recently. He reminds me of those old scrappy bigs that, try hard to get in and then they find that spot on a team that doesn't have their bigs and they need them. Kind of reminds me of Danny Fortson a bit, or say a guy like Reggie Evans, Danny Fortson, Reggie Evans, guys like that, where even Big Country, you saw 5 passes. That man, he was throwing them out like Big Country. That little soft, like little touch from the paint. And that anger that he shows after getting those putbacks, I know you saw that one assist he had. You started yelling, everybody was hyping him up. That's take about 60 pounds. That's Big Country right there.
Okay.
At about 60 pounds, give him a tan, and that's Big Country.
Yeah, I wonder if any of our listeners even know who Big Country is.
Hey, it's a good throwback, big 90s, I believe. I want to say
Brian Reeves.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yep, Vancouver.
Reeves' last name. Yep, Grizzly. Good throwback. But I think overall, Thomas Bryant, good game, filled in perfectly. The weight off the shoulders, I think, of this fan base, these players. This is how not to say this is how you want to go into the All-Star break, but there would have been this certain stank on this team if they had lost 3 straight games going into the All-Star break against 3 teams where the Lakers didn't have LeBron or Luka. The Knicks didn't have OG, and Brunson barely even contributed much. And then you're playing the lowly Washington Wizards, right before the All-Star break, and you're down 19 points in the second half. So to be able to just come back, show that you still had some energy, some fight, some heart left in you, it just shows hey, we're going to be all right. Let's get Myles Turner back healthy. Now you could see that, hey, it's great that they held him out. If you lost 2 games without him, whatever, it is what it is. But we got to make sure that everybody's ready for the remainder of this season. And I think, hey, knock on wood, this Pacers team is going into the second half of the season relatively healthy, and you got to be happy about that.
Yeah. And Facci, would you say since the Bucks won, we won today, we are currently in 4th place. Shout out Semi-Pro.
Hey.
We're in 4th place right now, baby. There you go.
Topics. Love it.
The amount of merchandise that Cammy has is just ridiculous.
He must just have a suitcase right next to him. He's just pulling out left and right, and it's everything you can think of.
Okay. Cam, you got to talk so we can see it.
That's Pascal right there.
Hold on, keep it up. We got to see it. You're not staying on the camera long enough for us to see it.
Give me a second. Give me a second. I got this right here.
Here we go.
I got this right here. If you want me to go to my closet, we could be here for hours. You know what I mean? We could be here for hours. I'm telling you. You
got to get his beauty sleep. We ain't got time for hours, okay?
I got time for one more.
You got time for one more?
We'll wait for Cammy. We could get a beautiful picture of his comforter in his hotel room. I mean, what a view here. Look at that gold
There you go.
backdrop.
There you go.
Ooh, love it.
There you go.
Love it.
There you go. That's why I'm kind of happy we didn't make any moves through the deadline because I'd have to get this returned. This was $20.
No, that's true. I mean, trust me. I feel like every time I buy a Pacer shirt or something of the sort, someone gets traded or someone's, it's quickly outdated. So when you make a move, those guys remain on the shirt for at least this season.
Yes, sir.
It was great to see the Pacers pull this one out. They needed this one, Facci. It just feels so much better going into the All-Star break with the win, getting to 30 wins, not sitting there on a 3-game losing streak, returning back. I mean, they're going to have a tough game when they come back to playing the number 2 team in the Western Conference, Memphis Grizzlies, when they return from the All-Star break. So they're going to be ready to play because, yeah, they got some home games, but they're not playing no bad teams like the Washington Wizards every single night. So you got to come ready to play. But this is where I'm going to go ahead and turn my mic off and give you guys about 5-ish minutes here for a little wrestling corner. I know that our YouTubers love when Cammy talks wrestling. They like when me and Facci do it every once in a while, but sometimes they get annoyed with it. So we're going to do it here. I think we cover the game pretty well. So 5-ish minutes, You guys talk WWE all you want. Facci, you take the mic from me. You're the host now. All wrestling, let's go.
All right. Hey, Cammy, thoughts on Jey Uso versus Gunther? WrestleMania? What do you think?
Yeah, I think you've seen my tweets. I think you've seen my thoughts already. And Alex, me and Alex talked about this because you're Alex's wrestling plug. I feel like you and I have the duty, the God-given duty to make Alex know about all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know you wake up every morning and you're like, oh, what happened on Raw? I gotta tell Alex, and you immediately hit him up in your contacts.
Hey, keep each other updated, but
for sure.
So you think? I mean, you could see obviously the storylines building and all this. I think they made a mistake kind of doing the Saturday Night Main Event so recently of this, and I think everybody the way that I would put it is, I'm a little bit older. I think for this younger generation, they look up to Jey Uso, and I think Alex and I want John Cena to win the Royal Rumble and stuff, but you could realize that that's not for everyone, and I think that's kind of how it was like when The Rock last year was being inserted into WrestleMania. There's a whole generation of people that didn't grow up on The Rock or John Cena, and I think Jey Uso's just kind of the younger generation's guy right now. So I could see where they're going with it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jay,
where'd you go, Cammy?
Got another shirt. He's got another shirt.
I have a bunch of shirts. I just have them scattered over there, just waiting for this occasion. I went and got an MF Doom shirt instead. That's for later. But what I was gonna say is, Jay, I recognize that he has that thing that he has that connection with the crowd. But I've tweeted about this. I tweeted about this today, actually. If it were me, I'd have Cena or Punk win, because for me personally, Cena versus Gunther is just better. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
Yeah, Cena going for number 17, Gunther going like, "You're not worthy for this championship, John Cena." Or whatever.
Pretty solid, Gunther. No, it's pretty solid. Yeah. I think they could make a big story out of that, of does Cena still have it or not, or this. Or then on the flip side, they've talked about, like, what if it was a WrestleMania main event of like Cena and CM Punk and Cody Rhodes or anything of that sort? Like, I think that there could have been something there. We'll see what happens with the Elimination Chamber. I guess your guess. Think John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber?
Okay, here we go. So, me personally, what I would have is Drew in the Elimination Chamber? I believe he is, right? He is.
Qualified.
Right. So, what I would have is say Punk or somebody eliminate Drew, and then I'd have it go down to Cena and Punk, right? And then Drew comes in and he's mad, He claymores Cena, then he hits Punk with that headbutt of his. Punk falls down, pins Cena. Punk and Cody at WrestleMania. But then, and then basically with that, I think either you could do that or you could have it vice versa. You could have him claymore Punk, attack Cena. It's Cena versus Cody at WrestleMania, and then Punk, still has that favor. At least, lest we forget, which I don't know what it is. I don't even know if they know what it is. Honestly, they just threw that in because I knew they were expecting the Rock at Survivor Series. You could clearly tell. So they just threw Punk in that had that favor in, which I still don't know what it is, but what that could be is Punk going up. Punk going up to Heyman and saying, "Hey, I want to get in this match too. I haven't had a WrestleMania main event, and then Heyman's like, all right, I'll see what I can do, or however the hell he talks.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
no,
you know.
I hear you on that. I think the big thing is like Cena doesn't need to win the title at
He doesn't need to win.
WrestleMania. He just
doesn't
has
need
to
to
have like they can build that story, and if he wins, 17 at any point this year, it's a huge, huge moment.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah.
hard to just kind of insert him into like a WrestleMania main event with only so much, and he still has like I think it's like 33 dates left for the rest of the year.
39, 36, yeah, something like that.
So he's gonna be a full-time wrestler from here on out, basically. But I think he still needs to come to the movie, and he's doing so. See what happens at Elimination Chamber. I wouldn't be surprised if he loses and they continue to build that story, kind of like, oh well, he's now fumbled the Rumble, he's fumbled the Elimination Chamber, like he's running out of opportunities. Like they'll make the fans invested and have them wait. But I think either way, it'll pay off. So. I'm excited with what's going on. I think it's an exciting time to be a Pacer fan. It's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan. I would say, Cammy, it's always great to have you back on. We can't lose with you coming on the show. So the streak remains. This ain't going to be an Undertaker streak that gets snapped. I think this one's going to keep going. Alex, what do you got?
Yeah, Cammy, because we got you here and you bring the energy, I'm not sure the next time we're going to bring you on. I mean, it could be next week. It could be, months from now. I want to hear you give me your best wrestling promotion give me a promo, but I want it to be for the case for why Benn Mathurin should start.
All right, okay.
But I need you to do it in wrestling promo fashion.
I gotta think of a promo style that's not Hulk Hogan, because that's all I'm thinking of right now.
That's exactly where my head went too. Like, and then it's easy to have that 90s promo style.
Yeah. All right, fine. Screw it. I'll do it. Ooh, yeah. I mean, this kid, 6'6", 200 pounds. You know what they always say? The cream always rises to the top. The cream always rises to the top. So, look here, Rick. Look here, Coach. My friend. We have to do something with this kid. We have to do something with this kid. And when the two mega powers collide, they just combine 0, 0, 0. 000. All right, well, hold on a second, McMahon. I was in the Gulf of Tonka too. Not now, Jesse. Not now. That's for later. Well, let's either start the man, or we gotta hit up. We gotta hit up another bald guy. We gotta hit up Mr. Silver. We gotta hit up Mr. Silver, and we gotta get that 6 Man of the Year case in, because they don't like us very much. They don't like us very much in the league office. Those national TV games are hard to come by. We gotta shake some stuff up. We gotta keep going. All right, Gorilla, we're out of here.
Love the Jesse Ventura guest appearance in there. That's very solid. Very solid.
There you go.
Oh man, that was great. I was not sure where you were going with that, Cammy. So I was sitting on the edge of my seat, literally.
Nah, hey, you put him on the spot. So
it was good, right?
That was good. It was good.
The more I saw Facci smiling, the more you went on, the better I felt about how this promo was going. So, like I said, this is wrestling.
Keep going.
I mean, it could have kept going. I was more so thinking you were going to be Benn Mathurin proving the case why you should start, but you went a different route. So. I was not sure what to expect.
Yep. Well, hey, fellas, I think it's been real. I think we can go into the All-Star break riding the vibes a lot higher than what it could have been. Everyone, it's going to be all right. Life's good. We got the extra pep in the step. The Pacers are in 4th. They ain't going nowhere. And honestly, I'm really excited about, no offense to Tyrese, but I'm glad that I ain't going to be seeing you playing basketball anytime soon, because the way that things were last year, this man needs to park it on the couch for a little bit. Just relax. Siakam, please don't overdo it in the All-Star game. I don't expect him playing heavy minutes by any means, but I'm just happy.
One fade away.
Yeah.
Fade away.
He might be the most boring All-Star player.
Yeah, he's probably going to be, I don't want to say he's going to be one of the more disrespected All-Stars, but there's going to be guys that are playing much more minutes than Siakam. And I'm all right with it this year, because the goal is just to remain healthy.
All right, we have to give our player awards out though, since they did win. So MVP of the game, Mel Daniels MVP. Cammy, who you going?
Sure, this is tough, man. I gotta either go Ben or Obi. I gotta either go Ben or Obi. I'm gonna go Ben. I'm gonna go Ben.
Yeah, you got to go
I'm
Ben.
gonna go Ben.
As awesome as Obi was, I know he outscored Ben. It's just what Mathurin did in that second half.
The clutch. In the
28
clutch.
was just unbelievable.
Yeah, we got our feisty Foster player of the game. Facci, who do you think that belongs to?
I mean, Thomas Bryant held it down. I feel like Thomas Bryant was just what we needed. I feel like he was great on the glass. He always brings the energy, and I just couldn't even imagine where the Pacers would have been from, like a toughness standpoint without Thomas Bryant.
Cammy, what do you think?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. You saw when he was mentioning Thomas, I put the T up because TB, that man has outdone himself. I'll tell you what, Kevin Pritchard, you've outdone yourself with this one. Did not expect anything, but Myles is gonna be back after the All-Star game, and we coming for that. We coming for the playoffs, man. Milwaukee, watch out. Orlando, watch out. Whoever won it, Detroit, watch out. You know what? Boston and Cleveland, watch out. We
calling them all out. I respect
all right, lastly, clutch player of the game. This is a tough one. Who we going with here, Foch?
You can make an argument that it's Tyrese because of that one shot. Like, that one shot came at such a pivotal moment that it's like...
It's always Haliburton.
It is. It's that one shot just it like outdid any of the Tyrese didn't really show up or this or that. So I'm gonna give it to Tyrese just off of that one really big 3-pointer because I'd be very curious what would happen if he missed that and what the result is in this game.
Yeah, you agree with that, Cammy?
Yeah. I'll do co-MVPs. I'll go Tyrese and Pascal for the free throws at the end because he had my heart bumping a little bit when he missed that. Yeah, when he missed that one free throw, he had my heart bumping, but then he hit the two after, and it was completely fine. He hit that fadeaway in overtime. Tyrese was the one who gave us hope, and Pascal was the one who took that hope into overdrive. So there you go.
Okay, well, there you guys have it. We're giving out double awards, co-awards. Who cares? It is a Pacers victory. It wasn't pretty, but they got the job done, and that is all that matters. So, Facci, Cammy, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for letting me crash the party that was supposed to be just you two originally to do this show. But great to see the Pacers get a victory. But if you're hoping the Pacers enjoy this nice break off, they're off for the next 8 days, and you're hoping the Pacers can get back to their winning ways when they return. Facci, Cammy, hit me with those 3 words.
Let's go, Pacers.